What's up, people of YouTube? I'm Karsatowski, and welcome back to the Karsatowski Games YouTube channel. So today we have the final match of the top 16 in the Wii Sports Bowling Winter Spring Tournament. So here are our matches so far lined up for top 8, starting in the following video. So the first match of our top 8, we have Dewey versus Jenna Kate. Then our second match, we have Chong versus Dawson. Our third match is Spanker Doe versus Angry Bob. And the last match will be Accident versus one of our two competitors today. Will that competitor be Ernie or Black Jude? So let's go ahead and get on to the final match of the top 16 of the Wii Sports Bowling Winter Spring Tournament. Our first bowler of the match. He's got kind of tired eyes, spiky hair, and no mouth, and to be honest, not much of a personality. It's Ernie. So, Ernie has not been used very much on Wii Sports, really at all, so let's see how he fares in this match. And Ernie starts out with the strike, so he's looks like he's following the match with Just Breath and Dawson, who have bowled the highest match thus far. Our second bowler of this match, he's got blonde hair, he's a pro, and he is a cousin to Wakey and Dewey. It is Black Jude. So to be honest, I don't really know the origins of Black Jude. I honestly don't. So we're just going to have to see how he bowls. But he is a pro, and this is going to be an interesting match for Ernie to compete with pro. And Black Jude gets that ball nicely into the pocket. So both bowlers are finding the pocket early in this match. Ernie's going to stick with that straight ball. The straight ball seems to have been the most successful line so far in our top 16 matches. We've had scores of 694 and 702 as the two highest in our tournament. And our highest score that we've had going straight of where Black Jude is playing was by Chong at a 639. And these bowlers both still are well an opportunity to beat both those scores, as we've had some bowlers already put up some big numbers, so whichever one of these bowlers goes and faces Accident is going to have to pick up a 647 series, which is our third highest score of this tournament through top 16. It looks like Black Jude is not putting that hook on the ball. Yeah, Ernie's got a pretty big lead over Black Jude in this match, so he's going to have to start striking. And he chopped the spare. That's not good. So that just gives Ernie some breathing room here. He could just stay in the same spot and just trample all over Black Jude through 4 frames. Black Jude is going to have to figure something out soon. I know it's early, we still have 2 games after this, but he's going to have to figure out a way to close frames and at least keep his ball into the pocket to where he can make not only makeable spares, but also to just strike more than not. Because I think that's probably going to be Ernie's biggest mistake, is going a touch high and leaving a 4-pin or 7-pin here and there, and probably go a little bit light and leave a 5 or 10-pin. That's got to push. And it just leaves a 7-10 split. Well, that's going to put him a little bit further back if he doesn't convert this. That's close. Oh, missed. Yeah, Ernie pretty much just needs to close frames here on out, and he'll win game 1 pretty comfortably if Black Jude doesn't figure something out. And that's 5 of 6 strikes so far for the first game. And the lead balloons to 57 pins for Ernie. And it looks more and more like that Ernie is going to take this first game. Yeah, we've seen that shot more often than not throughout our matches thus far. Bowler who's playing that far straight, and just throwing it at the 1-3. Sometimes they'll just leave a bunch of 5 pins, and there's been a lot of 10 pins with it. And it looks like Black Jude's going at that same line. Yeah, whatever Black Jude was trying to emulate some of our other bowlers, such as Dewey and Chong, and now he's ended up moving way far in where Ernie's playing. And that is the first double of this match for Black Jude. So I think he may have found his mark right now. Now he just has to strike out in order to get back into this match. But either way, he's still going to be trailing by a lot going into game number 2. And honestly, if Ernie keeps playing at that same line, I think the only thing that's going to stop him are solid 8s and 4 pins. And occasional 7 pins as well. A little bit right and almost left a 5-10, just leaving the 5. So he's going to be down by at least 30 pins if both players strike out, but this match is still far from over. Good strike for Ernie. So Ernie will take game number 1. So he just needs to strike out to distance himself from Black Jude. And instead he leaves a 4 pin. Now Black Jude has a chance to be within 24. And now possibly 25. But honestly, that spare didn't really matter too much. He was already going to win this game. Black Jude kicks out the 7 pin.
Nice throw.
We've got that one a little bit right. So Black Jude could go out for a 183. Yep, 183. And now that puts a 33 pin difference between both these players. So we've seen matches like this before. One bowler does fairly average or low, and his opponent does kind of a low game, and then all of a sudden, the player who's down by quite a few pins, finds a look by the second game, and pretty much gives him a good chance. And we've definitely seen that. The best example we've had was the match with Just Breath and Dawson. Just Breath had a 39 pin deficit in the first game, and then both bowlers actually struggled in that first game. And then all of a sudden, both of them just wouldn't stop striking. And all of a sudden, Just Breath beats Dawson by 11 pins the first game. And then he beats him by 20 pins the next game to just miss out on competing in the top 8 by 8 pins. So, if Black Jude can find something by playing this line, then he may have a chance to squeak by Ernie after having a 33 pin deficit in our first game. And that early spare is going to put some distance between them. Ernie is in a comfortable spot right now, as long as he doesn't make really bad shots, and he's really never made a bad shot except for about 2 frames, and this being one of them. He just had a little bit of interesting pin carry, though. Oh, that's gonna... Okay. So both our players have open frames early. That's why you don't count anybody out until it's over. But Black Jude really is going to have to put some strikes on the board. It's not just going to be enough by picking up spares. Because I know that Ernie is probably only going to leave at minimum 8 pins. And right there, he's having pretty good pin care right now, tripping out the 7 and the 8 pins late. So Black Jude is still going to have to find his mark because he's down even in this game. And he will continue to be down by 9 pins after leaving that 5 pin.
Nice spare.
And now Ernie can increase his lead to 19 with the strike here. And he does. Nicely.
Nice throw.
Yeah, it looks like Black Jude missed that ball to the right. But he still trips out that strike, though. If Black Jude gets some really good pin carry going his way, then he may figure out a way to win this game. But as long as Ernie keeps throwing strikes like that, it's pretty much not going to matter that much. Oh, man, Black Jude, he's just not getting that ball close enough to the head pin. It's just enough right to where it won't even touch the head pin. And with that low rev rate, and with that ball not having quite as much deflection as it probably should, and there you go, Ernie does the same thing. Yeah, so for these guys, their key is getting that 5 pin out. They have to aim close enough to the head pin to trip out the 5 pin. Now obviously they can't aim directly at the head pin or else they'll go right through the nose and they'll have many chances to leave a split, but they have to go as close to the sweet spot of the 1-3 as possible. And Black Jude had a good example of that, and Ernie had a good example of that, but just left a ringing 7 pin. Huh. But that's okay, because as long as he keeps making makeable spares like that, he's still going to be in the lead. Because Black Jude still needs to strike out this game and hope that Ernie leaves a couple open frames the next few hits, or just goes out for a few spares, and Black Jude has a 4 pin to take care of.
Nice spare.
So this game is within 27 pins right now. Ernie could strike on this ball and distance himself even further,
Nice throw.
which he does. So Ernie's not really like putting a ton of pressure on Black Jude, but he's at least doing enough to distance him from Black Jude, because Black Jude just isn't taking advantage. Now Ernie, if Ernie does not strike out in the 10th frame, Black Jude still has a chance to be within single digits of this game, but he's still going to be trailing by at least 30 or 40 if Ernie picks up this solid 8 pin.
Nice spare.
And Ernie could go out for a 2-14, which would be 2 pins shy of his last game. What we've seen so far is averaging about almost 216, 220 is a really comfortable score to win, as we've really only had about 4 or 5 games that have been bowled over 600. Where Black Jude kicks out that 10 pin.
Nice throw.
And that is Black Jude's first double of this game. And yet he had almost all strikes the last game
Nice throw.
after the last 6 frames, except for about 1 or 2 shots. Well, that's going to put him into a little bit of contention. He'd go out for 207. Alright, he goes out for 207, finishes off with a ham bone. Nice comeback there. So, Black Jude, it was only down by 7 pins that game. But now it balloons to... But the lead is now at 40 for Ernie. Ernie is leading right now by 40 pins total in this match. Black Jude needs to beat Ernie by 41 pins in order to win. And I really do think Black Jude needs to go out for about 250, because if Ernie keeps averaging about the 2 tens, then I think Black Jude needs to shoot at least 250 this game to give him a chance to move on. But Black Jude has made the proper adjustments. He just didn't get the best breaks last game, but he could have shot easily 220, 230 last game. And he could have knocked the deficit down by a few pins. There we go. Black Jude stucks in the pocket to take a 10-pin advantage. And Ernie's not going down without a fight as he puts up a double of his own. And Black Jude perfect through 3. Trips out the 4-7. Black Jude's had some pretty interesting pin carry this match. Ernie misses it a little bit right, but he also trips out the 4-pin late. He actually trips out the 4-5 late. Yeah, these guys are definitely in a good line. And if both these bowlers stay in the same line and continue to make pretty good shots, then their opponents are going to have a time on their hands. Ooh. And now this is pretty much a 1-pin match. At this point, if Black Jude strikes, if they both strike in the 5th frame, this would be pretty much within an 11-pin match. And there we go. Ernie comes back with the 4-bagger, or a ham bone as some people like to call it. Oh! Tripped out the 7-pin late. Well, he at least got the 7-pin to go down that time. So the situation right now is Ernie's max score is 290, and Black Jude can go at it at 279. If they both strike out, Ernie will still win, and he'll win by like 51 pins if both of them strike out. And Ernie is getting some really good pin carry right now. And Black Jude could easily have the front 5 if it wasn't for that 7-pin in the 4th frame. Now that one over there was just a tad inside. Like that one, I can see that one leaving, but honestly Black Jude should have tripped out the 7-pin in the 4th frame. And now Ernie at this point, there's not many frames left, and Ernie's getting some really good pin carry right now, and he just cracked open a 6-pack. I think that's our first 6-pack of this match, also. Yeah, Black Jude. There's really not much Black Jude can do right now. He almost tripped out the 5-pin, but it's just not to be. So this match technically isn't mathematically over, but honestly, any kind of spare for Ernie at this point, and it's pretty much going to be about over. Perfect strike for Ernie. Ernie has 7 strikes in a row. Talk about a comeback. Yeah, he can easily shoot like 260 at this point. And Black Jude looks like he may be lucky to get 220. Or actually, Black Jude right now is going at a 2-0 pace.
Nice spare.
Oh, 5-pin. Got a little bit right, but it doesn't matter right now. Like, he's leading by 40 pins right now. 42 pins in this game. And he was at 40 pins over Black Jude going into this 3rd and final game. And even though he tripped out the 7-pin again, this is pretty much over. Ernie can walk away now well into the 250s. And this could end up being, if he strikes out, this could end up being our third highest series. And he'll also, I believe, become only the second bowler to shoot every single game over 200. Chong was the first one to do it, and I believe Ernie will be our second one. Finishing off with the clean 259. Honestly, Black Jude made a really good adjustment in the 6th frame of the first game by moving where Ernie was, and he bowled a pretty good game. I mean, if he would have bowled like this in the first 2 games, then he and Ernie would be neck and neck. But he just never made quite a big enough adjustment and got enough pin carry to really continue that throughout the whole series. So that is a 259 for Ernie in game number 3, and a 217 for Black Jude. So we've got our final match results, everyone. So Ernie will be moving on with a commanding 689 series. And that is our 3rd highest series so far. Just 5 pins below our 2nd highest, bowled by Just Breath. And Black Jude comes out with a very respectable 607. Black Jude put up a pretty good series, and that would have won half of our matches throughout our top 16, but he just ran into Freight Train and Ernie. So it will be Accident and Ernie in our last match. So going into the top 8, we have Dewey versus Jenna Kate, which Dewey put up a 587, and Jenna Kate put up a 583 to move on. And our second match of the top 8, it will be Chong with a 639 that he put up against Dawson at a 702, our highest series so far. And Spank Your Dough with a 594 up against Angry Bob with a 646, and Accident with a 647 to Ernie with the 689. So all of our bowlers who are moving on to the top 8 have averaged anywhere from a 190 average at the low end to a 230 average at the high end. So there's going to be a mixture of scores, folks, but these next matches for our top 8 are going to be nothing short of exciting. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the final match of the top 16, and stay tuned for our top 8 matches starting next week. So if you guys would like to see some of those matches, be sure you hit that subscribe button down below so you will never miss any of my videos. I'm Karsatowski. Keep watching my content, and I will see you in the next video. See ya, guys!